What are VPC endpoints? A VPC endpoint enables customers to privately connect to supported AWS services, and VPC endpoint services powered by AWS, and VPC endpoint services is powered by AWS Private Link. Amazon VPC instances do not require public IP address to communicate with resources of the service. Traffic between an Amazon VPC and a service does not leave the Amazon network. VPC endpoints are virtual devices. They are horizontally scaled, redundant, and highly available Amazon VPC components that allow communication between instances in an Amazon VPC and services without imposing availability risk or bandwidth constraint on network traffic. There are two types of VPC endpoints. One is interface endpoints, and another one is gateway endpoints. Interface endpoints enable connectivity to services over AWS Private Link. These services include some AWS managed services, services hosted by other AWS customers and partners in their own Amazon VPCs, referred to as endpoint services, and supported AWS Marketplace partner services. The owner of a service is a service provider. The principal creating the service interface endpoint is using that service is a service consumer. An interface endpoint is a collection of one or more elastic network interfaces with a private IP address that serves as an entry point for traffic destined to a supported service. Interface endpoints currently support many AWS managed services. Check documentation for VPC endpoints for a list of AWS services that are available for over AWS Private Link. AWS endpoints. A gateway endpoint targets specific IP routes in an Amazon VPC route table in the form of prefix lists used for traffic destined to Amazon DynamoDB or Amazon Simple Storage Service. Gateway endpoints do not enable AWS Private Link like the interface endpoints. More information about gateway endpoints is in Amazon VPC user guide. Instance in an Amazon VPC do not require public IP addresses to communicate with VPC endpoints, as interface endpoints use local IP addresses within the consumer AWS VPC. Gateway endpoints are destinations that are reachable from within the Amazon VPC through prefix list within an Amazon VPC route tables. Refer to the following figure, which shows connectivity to AWS services using VPC endpoints. So as you can see here, within a region there is the interface VPC endpoint services, and here we can see there's a subnet, and within there's a EC2 instance, and that EC2 instance has, and that subnet has a elastic network interface, and there's another availability zone available same as that, and both are connecting to the VPC endpoint services, and as you can see, this is how they are connected. So basically this line is actually denoted as the interface VPC endpoint, which enables us to connect to it, and this is interface, and this is the gateway VPC endpoints, which directly connects to the Amazon Dynamo and the Amazon S3. So these are the services that connects using the gateway VPC endpoints, and these are the services which uses the Amazon interface VPC endpoints. So in my opinion, these two are somehow like, probably mostly accessed by the public, and it has a very often connection between like the request done by by the application that you are using. So these are basically the often used storage services where you used to store your data, so it's often used, and these are probably not that much often, and it can be these are mostly an internal service, not available to a client application. A client might not be needing to, like, let's say you are going to a shop, online shop, and you are not going to see the logs there, but you are going to see the data which are coming from this. So I think that's why they have this separation for now. So yeah, I hope you guys got an idea about these two. If you have any doubts, please leave a comment. Thank you.